Hi there. Today's book is Exploring Soils, A Hidden World Underground by Samantha Grover and Camille Heisler. I work on soil. I like to dig. So does Rosie. Some people say, don't dig, you'll make a mess, you'll get dirty. But there's so much to see. I like finding insects that live in the soil. Worms, millipedes, slatters, and grubs. Millipedes are my favorite. I like how they make a spiral in my hand. Once, my sister Lily and I found a city of flying ants in our sand pit. Insects work on the soil too. They nibble, nibble, nibble on old dead plants, and they wiggle, wiggle, wiggle through the soil. Quietly, quietly under the ground, insects work in a team with tiny creatures called microbes to turn compost into food for plants. The work they do is called decomposition. They release nutrients from dead plants into the soil to help new plants grow. There's one of our wiggly worms. Roots search through the soil to find what plants need. Healthy soil gives plants a stable home, air, water, and some of their food. I want my sunflowers to go right up to the sky, so we prepare their garden bed specially. We dig old compost into the soil and add extra worms. I don't think I'd like compost in my bed, but the insects and microbes love it. I water my sunflowers every day. Soon they'll grow taller than me. Everywhere we go, I look for soil. When diggers dig a deep hole in the road, I can see the soil going down, down, down. When we drive and drive and drive to my Aunt Nan's, I see layers of soil and rock in the road cuttings. They look like Nan's sponge cake. The soil, a layer of yummy icing on top of deeper layers of sponge and jam and cream rocks. That sounds delicious. On the long drive home, I explained to Lily how soils form by clorpt. Clorp, says Dad from the front. That's a new word for me. It's not a word, Dad, I say. It's a mnemonic, a rhyme to help you remember something. Miss Kerr says soils form by climate, organic activity, relief, parent material, and time. But clorpt is easier to remember. This term in science class, we have to find a sand soil, a silt soil, and a clay soil, and write about them in our learning journal. Hey, they have a learning journal just like you have a science journal or nature journal. But I live in an apartment. I don't have a backyard, my friend, Saskia told our teacher. That's no problem, said Mrs. Kerr. Soil is everywhere. Just look out. Just look around when you're out and about. At the beach, I see soil in the cliffs, brown, white, yellow, sometimes even pink. We swim and chase seagulls, and then we build a big fort. Wet sand makes the tallest castle. I make a channel from the sea to fill up my castle's moat. Grains of sand look small to me, but when it comes to soil particles, they're the biggest. Between the particles of sand are holes that air and water can move through. The holes are called soil pores. When Lily pours her drink into the sand, it disappears like magic because the water moves through the empty pores in the sand so fast. There's a market garden on the banks of Mary Creek near our house. In the silty soil, Mr. Gregarios grows beans, broccoli, eggplants, grapes, silver beet, strawberries, tomatoes, and zucchini. Silt is good soil for growing vegetables, he tells me. It was brought here by the river long before Europeans came to this country. I just add chicken poo and ta-da, as strawberries for everyone. The chicken poo acts like fertilizer. I find the third soil, clay, in my art class. Clay has the smallest particles. They sit close together and hold on to water tight, tight, tight. We roll the clay into eggs and long slugs. It feels smooth and silky like a real slug might feel. Mr. Gorgio's class doesn't like clay soils. Oh, he doesn't like clay soils, the farmer. Clay is no good for growing vegetables. The roots can't breathe, he explains. But my art teacher, Miss Jamali, likes them the best. Vegetables last for just one meal, but a beautiful clay bowl will bring you a joy to a lifetime of meals, he says. Some special soil can be used to make paintings. At the Mullum Festival, Auntie Mora shows us how to mix ground up soil with water and sticking gum. You need to find a soil with the color you want and a fine grain like clay, she says. Then you add water and the gum. Old days Spinifex gum, now acrylic. It makes some paint. We make red paint, white paint, brown paint, orange paint. I paint wombats and platypuses in their burrows. Lily paints beetle tracks. In Australia, our soil is old like dinosaurs, but soil is still alive, not like dinosaurs. Not many people discover a dinosaur in the garden, but everyone can discover soil just by digging. The end.